News has come out that Argentina is seriously looking to move forward with a citizenship by investment program of $500,000. It's going everywhere on the internet, but we've been in contact with our legal and real estate contacts and friends of mine living in Argentina who are very, very close to everything that's happening politically to get you more information. Hi, this is Jeremy from Millionaire Migrant. I left the UK 20 years ago. I've been in the UAE for 15 years. I built one of the world's largest citizenship and residency passport businesses, which is called Savory & Partners. But I've set up this channel so that you can get information directly from me and my team around me. And you can get that regularly and you can stay up to date with the facts. I'm actually married to a South American and I travel there a lot. I'll be back again in a couple of months. But I also have a background, obviously, in citizenship and residency. We have processed through my company, Savory & Partners, 11,000 passports. We've helped 11,000 happy clients, and now we are always looking for new options. Argentina, we know that a lot of people have been talking about this passport program through Instagram ads. It's not something that is legislated for, so this news about a new legislated for program is extremely enticing and exciting a lot of second passport agents all around the world. Now, if this goes through, and this is a big but, which I'll come to a little bit later. If this comes through, we could be talking about a seismic shift on the options on the shelf for all the citizenship and residency by investment options that there are. If this comes through, it'll be the 11th strongest passport that you'll be able to acquire within a period of 2 years. Now, you will have to invest in the country. The amount is $500,000, and I'll come back to some of the terms and conditions around that. But this passport is extremely powerful. It's 162 countries visa-free. So you talk about UK, Schengen, all of the main countries in the world. You've got 50 visa on arrival and ETA countries as well. You will also be part of the South American community, the LATAM travel bloc, which will also give you a lot of benefits. But you can always get visa free to Russia, Japan, Thailand, Morocco as well. To give you an idea, this is essentially a tier 2 passport, tier 1 being your Maltas and Portugal, for example. So this is really a game changer if it comes through. Now, it's $500,000 that you would need to invest in qualified projects, which are all around job creation and economic development. So this is, to give you an example, largely around probably what the Island Investor Program was all about, which was, obviously social housing, but that also creates jobs. You could argue to a certain extent it should be applied through a lot of the funds, even though the Portuguese funds in Portugal, 40% can be invested outside of Portugal. Not a lot of people know that. But if this does come through, this is what's going to have to be required. This will be probably technology, agriculture, energy, tourism, probably. So if you want to be able to get your own vineyard in the Mendoza country, I love a bit of Malbec myself, so I think that would be where I'd be looking to do this. Everybody's dream, I would say, if you like a bit of wine. But essentially, the only thing is, and this is the only big thing, is the fact that number one, you've got Javier Milei, which everyone is on board with. A lot of people really like him, but a lot of people also know that he's a little bit Trumpish in terms of saying stuff that doesn't actually always follow through. We also have to understand that he's in a minority coalition. So this is really going to have a lot of pushback if he does want to go ahead with this, unless, of course, everybody's all in board. There are also a lot of people who are concerned about investing in Argentina because, if we all know, it has a very checkered past. The first rule about investing in Argentina is don't invest in Argentina. If we all know about the famous hedge fund manager that confiscated the Argentinian frigate because Argentina was indebted to him. So it has a checkered past. So this is something that will concern people. And also my friends who live in Argentina, who are very well connected, that said that this is just going to take a long time ever to come to fruition. There's just so much bureaucracy in there. And there will be, as I mentioned, a little bit of pushback unless there is complete, absolute consensus around this from everybody within the government. The country is in a lot of problems. It's got a lot of debt. Milei, the chainsaw anarchist, has come in and has, apart from getting his Italian citizenship just before Italy made it very difficult to get Italian citizenship, he is trying to manage a lot of the problems with the public debt, especially in terms of all of those people who are employed by the state. But it's having an enormous impact on a lot of Argentinians. And so this could be one of the reasons why he came to this conclusion. So this is all early news, and just like the Trump gold card, everything will play out and we'll have to understand how this will play out. I think the main thing to be concerned with is the fact that this could attract a lot of investment, but the main thing is the residency requirement. Because if you think about it, Argentina, you can already get the nationality just by living there for 2 years, and you don't have to invest $500,000. But that's 2 years at a tax rate, which is not territorial tax. You'll be taxed on your worldwide income. The rate, if I check it now, is up to 35%. So that's a bitter pill to swallow, plus the $500,000. And this is, again, if you need to be resident, therefore tax resident in Argentina. So if they make the exception and say you don't need to be a tax resident, then this could be extremely interesting. One time, $500,000, minimal physical requirements and minimal tax requirements as well. Then it becomes very, very interesting indeed. But the other thing to understand is that if you did do any investment, which is towards the country, for those sectors that it's looking for, arguably, which would be agriculture, technology, manufacturing, all of these things will have some kind of real estate component as part of the overall package. What you need to know about real estate is because it is facing significant inflation, much like in other countries that have significant inflation, to name Nigeria, Egypt as other examples, this pushes property prices up. So real estate data said that Buenos Aires has been coming up for the last 2 years, a steady tilt. The issue is that the rental yield is coming down because it's just because people are buying properties just to hedge against the depreciation of the Argentinian peso. But in real terms, people can't really afford a lot of that rent. So your yield is around 2 to 3% gross, for example. And that is noticeable in the impact on the Paraguay real estate, as the same thing is happening in Brazil. And people of both countries are investing in Paraguay just to get the money outside the country. There's very lax capital controls across the border. This is not financial advice. I'm not saying that we should go ahead and buy real estate in Argentina. I'll be going down to that part of the world in a couple of months. I'll be going through Colombia and Paraguay. I'll also be in the US as well, because the US is always an interesting real estate market. It's where I've invested in 3 different states over the last, 2 decades. So I'll be looking at what Argentina and Buenos Aires is going to be. There are some people that see it having parallels with the Turkish real estate market about 15 years ago, 10 years ago. And we all know how Turkey has done very well since. It's a bit quieter now, but if you had bought over a decade ago, you'd be much, much better off. But I think that what is really interesting is about bringing this awareness to everyone. There are programs that close, such as your Spains and your Irelands and maybe even your Malta. We don't know what's happening right there. It's the dust has to settle. But you've also got new programs coming out, which is your Naurus and potentially your Argentina, maybe your Trump Gold Card, if that's of interest to you. So right now, it's too early to say. This is more to let you know that it's out there. We'll be keeping you up to date on the situation, which is very fluid, just like in Malta. I think a lot of people will be very excited about this, because if the price point, this is, and I can do another video explain to you about how governments agree on price points. I've been privy to a lot of that privileged information in my career, 15 years working in citizenship and residency by investment, and starting from the bottom and getting to quite a high position within the ecosystem. I can talk in another video about how countries design these programs, why they design it such, and how they get to the price as such for the residency or the citizenship. But 500k is very palatable. I think 2 years is also very palatable. I think the main thing is A, if he makes it, and B, around the tax, because that's quite painful from a tax perspective. The other thing to bear in mind is that it will also, Milei has the same problems as Trump has, is that announcing something, whether it will actually get pushed through. So it's the same with Trump and the executive orders. It all sounds great, but he needs to get the absolute majority to be able to push this through. So this is something that he will face not only in Congress, but also in the courts. He's also needs to stick around long enough for this thing to happen, because obviously he's been in for about 2 years now, a year and a half. Lastly, if this isn't the one for you in terms of price point or the tax things, unfortunately, Argentina isn't really that great for other residency options. You've got the rentista, pensionado, the digital nomad, inversionista, but all of these, it doesn't really matter. The only thing you need to really know is that they are only valid for 6 or 12 months at a time. So that is a bit of a pain. It also means that you're going to have to be renewing this more regularly. When you compare that to some of the other residency programs out there that last up to 10 years, this is a little bit of a pain. So if you don't really like that commitment, whether it is going to be the digital nomad, the renteristas, there are other options, which, for example, Panama springs to mind, that is very attractive, but leading to citizenship is not as straightforward. Yes, there's Spanish. It's going to be the same in Colombia as well, to give an example, and Paraguay. But, it's going to take a lot longer than your 2 years in Argentina, which has always made Argentina very attractive. I was recently interviewed by Forbes talking about how second passports are central to wealth planning. Wealth planning also includes tax. Argentina is not not a tax-friendly place, but that's something which I think will remain to be seen. If there is some kind of exemption on this, it will be very interesting. This video came to you a little bit last minute because this news is very, very recent. Let us know if you are interested to know more about Argentina, because again, once the information becomes a little bit more solid, we'll be sharing it with you in forthcoming videos. There'll be other videos coming out about other topics around this space. We have access to a lot of information and I'm more than happy to share it with you. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know and we will be seeing you again. Thank you.